Dolce. I'm gonna spill this. I don't even know. Hey, y'all. I can't even start this. Hey everyone, it's Hannah Singer and welcome to my channel.
Something about the way you look to me, yeah. Give me a reason, give me a reason, and I will dance, I will dance.
Here's the deal. I was thinking about what I'm gonna film for this week, and usually I have something kind of tugging on my heart of like where I wanna go with a new video, and most of the time it surrounds food or something. But I honestly just felt really unmotivated to make a video this week. I really don't know what this video is gonna be, to be honest. I feel very tired and run down, a little bit blue, a little bit stressed, a little bit anxious, a little bit overwhelmed, a little bit of everything, to be honest. And it's all good. It's cool, it's chill, it's fine to feel all those things. A lot going on, mentally, physically. I think I need to disconnect again from the outer world. But I also think that it's important to share videos that are really real and raw, and I share my life on here, and so why would I keep this from you, you know? It's important to recognize the days when we're feeling woo, and then the days and weeks when we're feeling a little bit like, ugh, you know? It's all life, it's all human, it's all natural, and so when we're not feeling motivated or inspired, or when we're not feeling our best, it's important to still talk about that and to be open and real. Something I kind of want to talk about in this video is just the practice of detachment and letting go. It's kind of my theme not even this week, but this past month. I feel like I'm at that place in my life and where we are at in the world where I'm learning detachment in so many different aspects of who I am and what I want and what I experience and what this outer world has going on. So I don't know if any of that made sense, but I think that's what we're just gonna do today. Just chill, talk. I feel very compelled. Who am I? Is that a right word? Is that right? I feel like I'm like Damon from Vampire Diaries, like I'm gonna compel you. I don't think that's the right word. I don't know, and now I have to pee again. I feel like talking about detachment today. That's just how I'm feeling, okay? I don't know what else to say. So the reason I've been so intrigued by this idea of detachment is because I've found myself attaching and clinging with everything, every cell inside of me onto things that I don't need to anymore. Especially this past year, 2020 into 2021, it's just been a lot of unlearning, a lot of detaching for me with ideas and outcomes and expectations and stories that I've been telling myself. This is all my opinion, my experience, my thoughts in this video, so you are more than welcome to disagree. I can only speak about the things that I know and feel and am learning and unlearning. So you may resonate with some of this stuff, you may not, and that's totally okay. But this is just my thoughts and feelings around this idea of detachment. So I think in order to really understand and experience and practice detachment, we have to understand and acknowledge attachment. I think as humans, we find it easier to hold on to things, and we find it easier to attach to things with a death grip, at least in my own experience. We tell ourselves stories in our heads about who we need to be, who we want to be, who we are, where we have to go, the people we need to be with, all these different ideas. We also attach to ideas or outcomes and expectations for ourselves and other people, and so easily those things don't happen the way that we want them to, And then it allows us to feel pain and suffering, and it opens that door for a greater amount of just negative emotions and feelings. That's why it's so vital to recognize our stories that we tell ourselves, the ideas that we have, the expectations, the outcomes, and just becoming aware of them. Because as good as it is to have goals and dreams and expectations and desires and wants, when we cling on to those things so tightly, when we attach to them with all of our heart and all of our being, we allow ourselves to get hurt, because most of the time things don't go the way that we want them to go. They go the way that they are supposed to go, or the way that they just happen and the way that they just are. That can be really hard when you're holding on to something with dear life. And I guess like examples of this could be in my own life. I tend to tell myself different stories in my head, like I'm not gonna make money because I'm doing jobs in this sector, or I never can sleep, I never sleep, or things like that. Saying stories to myself like I'm never gonna find a guy who meets all these qualities. Telling myself those stories all the time, and those are just a few examples, but over and over and over again, and believing in them and holding on to them so tightly and attaching to them that I don't even realize that I'm so attached to them, and that I just say them naturally and almost as if it's like no big deal, like, oh, I'm never gonna find someone. But then I believe that, and my subconscious is taking that in every time I say it, and it creates this negative and unhealthy habit that allows me to feel pain and suffering when those things don't come about, because I continue to tell myself those stories. Another thing that I find myself attaching to is ideas. I attach to ideas of people a lot. I feel like I'm in that, I don't even want to say I'm in that prime stage of dating, because I think you can date. I don't think there's a number on anything. I don't like rules. I don't like rules when it comes to dating, or how you need to date, or what age, or whatever. But I do feel like I'm starting to explore dating more in this time in my life and at this age, and let me tell you, I attach to ideas so easily. For example, like there will be someone on like Tinder or Bumble or Hinge or one of the many dating apps that I am on, and I'll see them and I'm like, oh my gosh, I love their vibe, or I feel like I would really vibe with them, and then I just attach to the idea of that person, but I don't even know them, haven't even started talking to them, sometimes haven't even matched with them, but just the idea of who they are I hold on to, and I'm like, oh damn. And then when they don't message me, or when they reject me, then I'm like, frick, and I start to feel that pain, and I create unnecessary suffering. Basically, attachment as a whole is unnecessary suffering, whether it be for a person or a thing or an action. It's so important to recognize the way that we hold on to things, the way that we attach to things, so that we can learn to let them go and practice detachment. So in my humble opinion, I feel like the reason that we attach onto things and we hold onto things so easily and so strongly is because it feels secure, it feels comfortable. When you tell yourself a story, for example, like the one that I tell myself about not finding a guy that will meet all of my expectations and that I can fall in love with. When I tell myself that story over and over again, I say that because it's easier to think that there's not someone out there than to really face the fact that it's just me being scared to be vulnerable and open, and to experience many different relationships, and to keep searching and exploring, and having faith and trust that there is someone out there, and that this world is abundant, and that there are so many nice guys and attractive guys in this world who will accept and love me for who I am. Not that I want many guys, but you get the point. Switching that narrative, changing that narrative, detaching from that narrative is so vital, and taking myself out of that place of feeling comfortable with just settling and comfortable with just staying in that ideology because it's easier and because it's not as scary as putting yourself out there and being vulnerable and being open and exploring many different relationships and heartbreaks and all of that. We attach to things because it's easier and it's more comfortable. Even though it's not our dream or our goal or where we want to be, we stay in that place. We hold on to those things, we hold on to those people, those ideas and feelings because it's easier than letting them go and experiencing pain and experiencing heartbreak and experiencing failure and fear and all of these other things. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to live like that. I don't want to live in a place where I'm holding on to all these things and ideas and feelings that don't serve me. And that is part of the reason why this year I switched my major, because I was holding on to dance with a freaking death grip. Not even a freaking death grip, a death grip, to the extent that I can't even explain. I felt so comfortable staying with that major and that life path, even though I knew I did not want to go there, even though I knew that I didn't want to take it further or be a professional or study it in this moment in my life. I didn't want to experience what it might be like living in uncertainty. And when I realized that, I was like, damn, I literally am spending so much time being so attached to something that literally is making me miserable. I decided that I needed to detach from this and I needed to let it go and I needed to move on and know that it's okay to step into uncertainty and that it's okay to feel scared that I don't know what the future holds. It's a hard ass practice. Letting go of things, detaching from things is hard. Letting go of people who are toxic is hard. And that's why we ghost people, that's why we ignore people. It's hard because we're in a society that's constantly telling us how we should look, how we should feel, how we should be. So this practice of detachment isn't easy, and it's something that is lifelong, and it's something that I'm learning with everything that has gone on this past year, from COVID to the Black Lives Matter movement. Practicing detachment is important, not just for our own health, but for the health of this world and for others. You know, when we're holding on to ideas or ideologies that are founded in racism, for example, that is very messed up. Like, we need to learn to detach from things and to acknowledge these attachments to ideas or whatever we learned growing up, because those can have a very negative impact on others around us. So in order to practice detachment, in my opinion, I think the first thing that needs to be done is acknowledgement. Acknowledging the things in your life that you are holding on to, the people, the outcomes, the ideas, the stories, whatever it may be in your own experience, in your own life. Learning to acknowledge that, to recognize the patterns or the habitual thoughts and expectations that you are creating for yourself and others, because then you can start to break them down. And so that kind of moves on to the next part of detachment by having a little tool of some sort. So for me, my tool is like my notes and my journal. I use them to recognize first, acknowledge what I'm attaching onto and holding onto, and then taking the steps to say, why am I doing this? Why am I holding on to this person? Why am I holding on to this idea? Why am I expecting this outcome? Why do I feel this way? Why? Answering that question of why, whether it's journaling it out, just talking it out to someone, writing it in your phone, whatever it may be, acknowledging that why, understanding it, and then taking the next steps to break it down even further. So the first step is acknowledging what your attachments are. The second step is being able to understand the why, the reasoning behind them. And now the third step is breaking them down, building the courage, the strength to face these attachments and to start to really break them down. This can look different for everyone and it can feel different for everyone. So for me, the way that I break down my attachments is by journaling. When I just write out everything, I'm able to start to recognize the patterns. I'm able to start to recognize where my head is at, and then from there I'm able to start to just set reminders for myself on my phone, through post-it notes, through other little calendars and stuff, like making little notes. Again, this sounds a lot easier than it really is. It's a really hard practice, and it's something that I'm constantly doing, and I'm constantly telling myself, detach, let go, detach, let go of many, many things. Reminding yourself, having those mental notes, having actual notes, after doing that work of discovering what your attachments are and realizing why they are there. Breaking them down is like the hardest part, and it's the part that brings in the most work, and that brings in, and it's the part where we also find freedom. I find myself detaching through yoga, through meditation, through breath work, through journaling, through reminders, through affirmations. Like, there's so many different ways that you can detach. Some of these may work for you, some of them may not, but find what works for you. Find a way that you can remind yourself to let go and to move on, to detach from whatever it may be that is bringing you suffering in your life. And I promise you will find so much more freedom, you will find so much more contentment and appreciation and gratitude for who you are, where you are, and how you are in each moment. So I know that this video is a little bit random and mumbo jumbo and a lot of me just processing, but I think it can be really important to hear people processing their own thoughts and ideas, because I think we can learn from each other, and we can disagree and agree with each other and learn how different ideas may impact our own life and our own thoughts and our own experiences. And so I hope that this video opened your mind in some way, or maybe challenged you. Maybe you can relate to the things that I talked about, maybe you can't. That's okay. Feel free to follow me on Instagram. I have a new Instagram because Instagram doesn't like me for some reason, but my account, it was my food account. It's at earth2_Hannah. So go ahead and give me a follow on there. It would be greatly appreciated, and I would love to chat with you all. So seriously, DM me. We can talk about detaching more. I'll see you next Wednesday for another video. Thank you for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so, and leave a comment if you're feeling like it. Always remember that the earth is your playground, so play, detach, let go, and just live as you are with a smile on your face. Much love. See you next week.
She's a Mona Lisa. Everyone's lining up to see her. There must be something about her features. You'll find her beauty goes much deeper once you get to meet her.